the center of the ring.
Say the line.
Randy Orton.
Your guy. Trust me. Stupid.
Ladies and gentlemen, guys and gals, non-binary pals, and a technicolor rainbow in between, this is the Modular Media Wrestling Podcast, and I am your preeminent handsome host, Boingo Rider. With me is, of course,
Simion The Vacuuminator Scott, the master of whatever the fuck it is I'm doing today. Hello.
Yo. This is Modular Media Wrestling Podcast, where we take the last month or so of wrestling, disseminate it through a filter of shitty opinion, and then spew it back out to your face.
Wait, this isn't Talk is Jericho?
No.
Oh shit, I'm in the wrong podcast. I'm so sorry for wasting your time. I'll be right. I'll see you later.
Okay, so first things first, up on the thing.
Alright, Chris Jericho told me to get the fuck out, so I'm back.
Yeah, I figured. There's only one Chris that's going to be able to work with you, and that's me.
Yeah.
So, we're going to change up the format just a tiny bit. We're still going to go in kind of chronological order throughout the month, but instead of flip-flopping and backing around and going everywhere, we're going to go by technical promotions. So, the first thing up is...
I'm in control here. And you're going to give me what I want. You know what it is. Give me what I want.
I'm not going to give you a damn thing, Dave.
WWE! How'd you enjoy WWE this month?
It sure was some WWE. I mean, what can you say about being a WWE fan at this point that hasn't already been said? It's like brief moments of bliss punctuated by a good punch in the face.
Yep. And sometimes you get a cookie. Not often, but sometimes.
Yeah.
A semi-cookie. The Shield reunited for the 5th time in a row.
For one last motherfucking time!
Okay, that was a funny moment, but it also is kind of heartwarming.
Yeah.
Essentially, Roman Reigns wanted to get the band back together one last time because Seth was going off to be the Beast Slayer, Dean heading out to do his own thing. I don't think he's going to AEW. I personally think he's just going to take a year to fucking decompress.
And due to recent things that were going on, Roman realized that you gotta live like you're dying.
God, you were not even an inch on...
That was fucking purposeful, okay? Because I hate that song.
It's not a bad song. It's probably one of the better neo-country songs.
It's a pretty generic song, that's the problem.
Oh, I know. I'm not saying it isn't. But they fought the mid-card of evil, as Brian Zane described. Is it Brian Zane? No, it's Wrestle Talk. Wrestle Talk describes him as that.
Mm-hmm. I think... I'm. It's so weird that, like, they've never been given an official name and, like, grouping, especially with how much those guys, or at least some permutation of those guys, has gone up against the Shield. Like, occasionally you'll hear, I think Corey Graves call them the Dogs of War, which works great because the Shield are the Hounds of Justice. But they've never actually been called that in, like, graphics or by themselves or anything. It's the mid-card of evil is such a weird thing.
I think the Dogs of War was when Braun Strowman was part of it. But I may be talking out of my ass. But the Shield fucking came together, did a thing, beat some people up. Hey! At least it's better than fucking going out on Roman Reigns having mono and being joined by Kurt Angle.
Yeah. I mean, they certainly did some decent squashing.
Yep. But we'll talk more about the match at Fastlane.
Mm-hmm. We'll talk about that later.
Fuck you. I'm trying to diversify that mindset, and you're just sitting here, sitting on your thumb, up your little bunghole, acting all proud of yourself. Triple H and Batista are angry at each other. Let's talk why.
They They certainly are, and man, has this angle been all over the place. Because, like, started off really strong, really subverted our expectations of, like, just a kind of mediocre way to close out a... Was it a SmackDown or a Raw?
Raw is when they've been building it on Raw.
Okay, yeah. Because Raw was... They fucking did the whole Ric Flair's birthday thing, and then Batista kicked the shit out of him. Well, we don't... He dragged him. Batista dragged Ric Flair a few... But he beat up a 70-year-old man!
Yep.
And that was good. I liked that stuff. I was excited to see that the angle was actually happening because of fucking the tease they did on SmackDown 1000. Then Triple H cut a promo where he did a worked shoot, which is a thing WWE has had a weird obsession with lately. Where they go like, this isn't the character. You're gonna see the man go after him.
I think it's like, okay, here's the thing. The main people who have been doing it is Ronda and a little bit of Trips. And I think the difference is Ronda's doing a worked shoot promo.
Mm-hmm.
The emphasis is on the shooting.
Mm-hmm.
Triple H is doing a worked shoot promo. The emphasis is on the work.
Yeah.
And I think that difference makes the Triple H one fucking awesome. And the Ronda one, why the fuck you in this business, bitch?
Mm-hmm. And I
do not...
We'll talk about Ronda in a fucking minute, right? Like,
yeah, Ronda is a mess of things of like, oh, that's cool, and oh god, please, why?
Mm-hmm.
But
I didn't care for that Triple H promo. It wasn't a bad promo. He did a really good job with it. It's just I didn't care for that, like, especially when it's in frickin' Raw, which is supposed to be WWE's premiere show, even though
SmackDown's making them more money. Yeah, but his next promo after that was okay, after
the one
after that first
this week.
Okay, we need to go in chronological order. Batista responded with an interview, basically going like, I can't remember exactly what he was going on about, like, but basically like, no, I deserve this. Triple H held people down. He held me down. He did an
interview where he basically started hashtag Max Landis was right.
Yeah. Essentially, like, take Max Landis' Wrestling Isn't Wrestling video and turn it into a promo.
Mm-hmm.
But then the week after, which is this week, where we are currently recording, yay! Triple H responded with probably the funniest promo in a while.
It was. I think it might go down as one of his best. Like, this felt like old school DX to me, of him just coming out and completely trashing the other guy in a hilarious way.
But not in the, oh, you suck as a wrestler, but no, in the very much, no, I'm just better than you.
Yeah, and I'm a goofy goober who's gonna reference a fucking song from the 90s in 2019.
Not just that, because people were making that a meme.
Mm-hmm.
That was a meme in the internet wrestling community, and it's basically a wink and a nod, especially with the other things he was saying, like, I can't remember. He was doing the job to the envelope, and there was something else.
He said, like, this is a letter that basically lays out what's going to be in the contract from the match from Batista's lawyer. It says, basically, if I win, then Triple H will give me what I want, what I really, really want, what I want, what I want, what I want. And it goes on
He literally
and on.
quoted the Spice Girl song, "Give me what I want, give me what I want, what I really, really want. What do you want? What do you really, really want? I wanna." And then he like threw like 7 pieces of paper and he just goes, it goes on and on.
Yeah.
Like, that was like perfect. And I think the best way to describe this promo is it's DX, but they grew up and became a dad.
Mm-hmm.
And like, the best way.
It's DX dad humor.
Yeah. Which, doing the job, it's a work. Like, he was throwing those bones, but not, like, he was throwing a bone, but it wasn't like a goddamn fucking porterhouse.
Yeah, it was just like, here, guys, I see you.
He was playing Wrestling Deadpool.
Mm-hmm. It may look like I'm an old dude, but I still keep track of shit that goes on, okay?
That was prime NXT Triple H.
Yeah. And it kind of made me, like it made me long for more Triple H stuff, because like obviously we now have the stipulation in place of if Triple H loses the match, then it's the end of his career. He will quote unquote never wrestle again. And I get why they're doing that because of Crown Jewel.
Yeah.
But like this promo just made me go like, Triple H forever, please. I never want to be without this guy.
Oh yeah, especially with the fucking promo he cut on NXT like a couple like last week.
Yeah. We'll get to that, but yeah, Triple H, I feel like the whole shoot thing might not have been him and him just doing the best with what he was given. But now that he's got what feels like full control of this angle, I'm really into it, and I'm looking forward to the match. And you know, I'm gonna make a prediction right now. Triple H is going to come out to the Evolution entrance with Orton and Flair.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, because it's Mania. Of course, Ric Flair's gonna be there, and Randy's got a match on the card, so they can make that happen, and it would be a cool storytelling thing of we're the cool guys who have been here forever, we've always worked for this industry, we love you, and now here comes this asshole who was one of us but sold out and went to Hollywood, and now he's coming back trying to prove something.
Honestly, I would that is one of the matches I'm interested in, and it's going to be very fun.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't going to be it's going to have a good bit of smoke and mirror, but it's going to be fun.
Definitely.
What's not been fun has been the build to the currently main event for WrestleMania, including the fact that Ronda fucking Rousey turns heel.
Oh boy, where to fucking begin with this? Because
do we talk about the overbooking of the whole goddamn match? Because goddamn, there's been more booking in this one match than the rest of WrestleMania put to fucking together.
Yeah, this plot is more convoluted than the fucking Star Wars prequels, and that is really saying something. It's just like, I don't like the brand split ending without us like saying it's ended fully is not a bad thing. But good God, you do not have to have all three of these women on both shows every week. You can
here's the
do
thing,
it.
they're not on both shows all the time. Ronda hasn't been on SmackDown once.
Mm-hmm. And that's probably because her
watch.
contract is only for Raws and PPV and pay-per-views.
I've only been watching SmackDown NXT in terms of the WWE product. Like, I haven't seen Ronda in forever.
Yeah, I literally just watched the YouTube clip of the handful of angles on Raw I'm interested in right now. Like, I know Roman and Drew have a Mania angle going on. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck it's about, because I haven't watched any of it, and I don't care.
Honestly, that's going to be a fucking banger match, because it's two big beefy boys beating each other up.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited for that, because fuck yeah, Roman, like, now that, I can actually be excited for his character, not just his moveset. Sweet! I can enjoy his whole thing. That's great. And Drew McIntyre is he's a fucking grenade.
Drew McIntyre is a good boy who more often than not gets handed shit plates.
Oh yeah, no. He is at least a good enough performer that he hasn't been completely ruined by it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only people I think are completely ruined by the shit that's been going on are kind of Braun Strowman, Baron Corbin, and Dolph Ziggler.
Yeah.
Like, they're the only ones who have been shafted.
What the fuck happened to Dolph Ziggler? I haven't seen that guy in months now. He came back at the Rumble and then did fuck all.
Yep.
Like, he's not even on TV. I don't... No, because the whole thing with the Rumble was they teased on Twitter that he might have let his contract run out and gone to focus on comedy. And then he came back like, no, I'm still a wrestler. And we haven't seen him since. What the hell is that about?
Who fucking cares? At this point, it's Dolph fucking Ziggler. Who cares?
Yeah. And getting back to fucking Ronda Rousey, though. So we gotta hit this Twitter shit head on, man.
Oh, fuck. That was the worst fucking. That is the second worst night on wrestling Twitter, and it happened like a week after Corey's fucking debacle.
Yeah, I do not know what the hell they're thinking with her, because like as much as they want us to think it is, this is not her idea. This is them telling her, hey, you're gonna be bad now. You're gonna get a ton of heat if you do this. And so she just went off and did it. And it's not working at all. It's not making me hate her in like the, oh, she's such a good villain way. It's making me hate her in like, she just seems like an asshole. She doesn't seem like somebody who I want to watch ever. And her, like, as much as I don't like how overbooked the angle is, her stuff on Raw hasn't been half bad. She's had a few decent segments. She's stumbling over her words like I do on this podcast a whole lot, but she has a speech impediment. I can give her a pass. The fucking thing is, it feels way more forced than it should. If it was just the stuff on Raw, I probably wouldn't care. But because of all the extra stuff they're throwing in on Twitter and saying all this other stuff, it's not working, and it's making me like half hate the angle. Because I want to be excited because it's another Becky and Charlotte match, and Becky's on fire right now, and all this stuff. But Ronda is just like this black mark on the whole thing now, and she wasn't when it started. When Becky went like, Ronnie, I knew I'd find my way back to you. That was awesome. I was ready to see that unfold. And then she turns heel and she hates the audience. And hey guys, wrestling is fake.
So like, much.
Please kill me.
Yeah. Like, it's just and I understand why they wanted to book this thing to hell and back, because they were trying to make it big and important and big enough to be on the last thing, but it was already big enough to go last.
Who the fuck asked for a beat the clock match between these three?
Vince.
Why?
Because
I don't think anyone younger than us even knew beat the clock matches were a thing. And we're two really young guys as far as wrestling fandom goes.
Yeah. Man, it's just, it's a lot. It's just too much. And I'm glad that it's kindly settled down a little bit. And it's just going like, all right, these just three ladies just hate each other and they're going to fight. Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
I mean, I know there's other things you want to fucking talk about later, but...
Oh, we'll get to that.
But in the meantime... WWE did a little mini doc on Roman Reigns' return.
Yeah, this is a great little episode of Chronicle. You know, I think I'm much more into WWE Chronicle and fucking the other one that covers a whole year than you are.
Yeah.
But I really dug getting to see, because Roman's character now is half his old character and half... I'm just a guy who everybody backstage really loves because I work really hard and I care about everybody. And it was neat getting to see that full on. It was neat getting to just see Roman be Joe. And there's a lot of cool stuff with his family, a lot of interesting stuff of him talking about what it was actually like to be away from things for so long. And there's a really cool scene where he goes back to the Performance Center and starts training again for the first time. And there's a funny little moment where like he's stretching with his trainer and they're checking him out, making sure he's okay to get in the ring. And he goes, well, the good news is you're cleared for ring duty. Bad news is you're going to have to take some bumps. He's like, okay.
That was when Dean Ambrose did the fucking joke, right?
What joke was that?
You know, my friend has a new hobby.
Oh, yeah.
You know who the friend was? You heard that, right?
Yeah.
It's Claudio. That's Cesaro.
Oh my god. But no, this is a good little thing. Nice little shot of wholesomeness injected right into my veins.
Yeah. It's all good. I'm glad that Roman is finally like allowed to be, and just it's fun. It's great. But speaking of one Samoan man named Joe, a different Samoan man named Joe became the United States champion.
Yeah, this is interesting. Seeing Joe finally get a belt in WWE. I didn't actually realize that this was his first WWE belt until I was watching fucking Who Wore It Better, and Brian Zane brought it up. But yeah, it was a really cool little match. Joe hasn't done a whole lot with the belt so far, but what he has done since winning it has been pretty good. I don't think he's quite reached the heights of Wendy yet, but I have confidence that he'll get there. Because the United States Championship belt is kind of like a jobber belt at this point. I think if anybody is going to bring it back to being a belt people really care about, it's Joe.
Oh, yes. Joe or Mysterio, who he is going up against at WrestleMania. But the match that Samoa Joe got the belt with was the second of 2 fatal 4-ways between Samoa Joe, Rey Mysterio, Andrade Cien Almas. Fuck you, that's his full name, WWE.
Yeah, did you hear they shortened Mustafa Ali's name too?
To just fucking Ali. It's so dumb.
And it's like, he even went on Twitter and was like, he's not exactly happy about it either, but they pay him, so he has to go along with it. And he's like, Mustafa literally means of the people. I consider myself a champion of the people. And even though it's not going to say it anymore, I'm still Mustafa Ali. And I was like, good for fucking you saying that when they've fucking changed it.
Honestly, I think WWE is getting rid of names because, like, okay, Cesaro used to be Antonio Cesaro. And like, okay, it's weird, but okay. Rusev was Alexander Rusev, and they wanted to make him more foreign, so get rid of Alexander. That's too common of a name. I think, honestly, I don't want to cry racism. I think, honestly, Vince might have been worried that the name Mustafa might be putting people off.
That's fair, but like, the only reason I could think that he would think that is the reaction he got at Fastlane. And the thing is, that's not what that Fastlane reaction was about at all.
No. But like
the fact that he's just called Ali now, I keep thinking Muhammad Ali is gonna come out and start boxing somebody.
I'm thinking of Aladdin. Prince Ali, handsome as he, Ali Ababa.
Yeah.
Like, it is such a weird thing. Like, I don't know why. There's a few that have worked, like Biggie Langston, just shortened to Big E. Yeah, that's fine. I like that. I mean, even if you want to get specific, Triple H is just a shortened form of Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Yeah.
But that's still technically his name in kayfabe. Like, it's so dumb.
Like, people still call him Hunter.
Oh, yeah. Steph calls him that all the time.
Yeah.
But the other person in it was R-Truth. Did I mention him? Yes. Rey Mysterio.
Yes. R-Truth trying to live up to the legend of his childhood hero, John Cena.
That's the best gimmick.
Yes. R-Truth is a fucking genius, okay? Like, I don't care what anybody says, that guy always comes up with the most hilarious, amazing shit.
Oh, yes. But, Samoa Joe has the belt now. He hasn't done anything with it yet, but that's mainly because he's been part of other people's stories. So he's still active, unlike the other people who have gotten the belt and have done nothing.
Yeah.
So at least it's on a better track record so far.
I do hope they get some actual build-in for him versus Rey Mysterio on the next SmackDown, the go-home one for Mania, because, like, the stuff they've done with Rey to kind of set it up has been fine, but it feels like it's missing something. It feels like Rey's just going like, yep, I'm doing a match. It doesn't feel like, oh,
it's not even Rey doing it half the time. It's his son.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
great that his son's
him up to become a wrestler. Like, I don't think there would be any reason for his son to be back in his promos at this point. We're not going to do the custody angle again. But it doesn't have that punch, you know? And if you're doing an angle of somebody versus Samoa Joe, you need to have some punch to it.
Yeah. It needs to have that Hawaiian fruit punch.
You joke, but that drink is delicious.
No, Dominic is actually training to be a wrestler, so it makes sense for him to be in the promos. He's getting used to the business. I'm fine with him being there.
Yeah.
But speaking of people being there, Tori Wilson, the Harlem Heat, the Hart Foundation, and D-Generation X.
We already talked about the X.
Were you talking about the X?
Yeah, we did that last time.
All right, fuck you. Are now all inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, last time it was DX and Honky Tonk Man who had been announced.
This is a weird fucking Hall of Fame class.
It is, but it's a really diverse and fun one.
Yeah.
I mean, I know fuck all about Tori Wilson, but Harlem Heat, that's straight up a WCW act they're inducting, and a good one. And the Hart Foundation, who doesn't fucking love the Hart Foundation?
And it's nice that they're giving... It would have been cool to give it to him when he was alive, but giving an honor to the Anvil Neidhart postmortem.
Yeah.
Do you know what the fucky thing is? The only surviving member of the Hart Foundation to receive the honor is Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah.
It's within the company. I mean, you have the new Hart Foundation and MLW, and they're fucking great.
Mm-hmm. It's weird that they're just inducting Brett and Jim, though, because like I would have expected that Jimmy and Owen would be in there too, but I guess they're just going with the classic tag team duo.
Yeah, and Davey Boy Smith and Brian Pillman.
Yeah.
Because right now the Hart Foundation and MLW is Teddy Hart, Brian Pillman Jr., and Davey Boy Smith Jr. And they're all solid. It's great. But yeah, this is pretty dope. Booker T is now a 2-time Hall of Fame champion.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah. But
good
now
for you, Booker T, you bullshitter.
Sucky ducky.
I was watching Botchamania today, and there's a bit that I never noticed from a SmackDown. Was it a SmackDown or was it no? It was a Raw because it was a Jason Jordan match where he was guest commentating. Like just after not this Royal Rumble, but the previous year's Royal Rumble, and Corey Graves is trying to get his opinion on which team he thinks will win and how, and he messes up some factual thing about tag team wrestling, and he's like, and Corey Graves is like, "How do you not know that?" And he goes, "Well, you know, I've never been much of a team guy. I'm more of a solo act." And Corey Graves and Michael Cole are both like, "What the fuck are you talking about?
You were in Harlem Heat."
Yeah, you had the King's Court, fucking your girlfriend, your kayfabe girlfriend. And he's just like,
Yeah. Oh, man. But speaking of Hall of Famers, Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic.
Yeah!
I am fucking killing these segues tonight.
I know. You're a good boy. But,
I am not a puppy.
Okay.
He said good boy.
Yeah. That's a compliment to
I know, but
that's
often a thing you call a puppy. Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?
So you mean to say you wouldn't want to be known as a good boy?
Fuck off. Banter. Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. We have a bunch of tag teams. Forgotten Sons. We have Undisputed Era. We had is Mustache Mountain in it?
Yeah, they got knocked out in like the first round.
Yeah. And the team of the punk rocker hanging out with the golf kid.
Blackachet and
people say that tag team doesn't make sense, but like when you describe it like that, it totally makes sense.
Yeah, it's good times. And fucking DIY getting back together only to fucking break up again. Yeah, this was a good time. Fucking expert storytelling all around. A lot of storylines weaving and bobbing between each other. A lot of just great spots. A lot of guys showing, hey, we're ready. Anytime now, Vince. But don't fuck it up.
No, I think a lot of those NXT guys are just going like, no, we want to stay here for a little bit long. I think I can learn more here. I don't think I'm ready. I don't think I'm ready yet.
But I saw the tag team classic. That spot you did was amazing. No,
Yeah,
we need to learn more.
I kind of landed on my foot. I kind of landed on my foot where they're weird, and that could definitely fuck someone up. I'd be a dangerous on the main roster. I mean, do you wanna injure Braun Strowman? Oh no, I don't want to injure Braun Strowman. Good. Okay, cool. Yeah, no, I'd be much better. I'm much better down here.
Yeah. But no, this is a fun time. I liked it a lot. I kind of wish the Street Profits had gone over a little more. But everything else about it was pretty good. And I watched NXT last night. I cannot remember for the life of me who won. Was it Forgotten Sons or Blackachet?
I don't remember. I think it may have been Forgotten. Hold on, let me figure this shit out.
To the Google!
To the Google A. I ain't going on Google. I'm going to r/squared circle because... Oh, what the fuck is that? There you are. I'm on r/squared circle. First thing I see is WrestleMania cancel amid allegations of match rigging. Kayfabe news. Oh man. God damn it, motherfucker. What the fuck? This is a lull in the podcast. It's fine if you like skip a couple minutes, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, people listening. I mean, all one of you.
Oh shit.
Hey, fucking language.
Sorry.
Yeah, you better fucking be sorry.
It was Blackachet.
It was Blackachet? Okay,
Yeah.
Going up against World Raiders, that's fucking awesome.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for that. I mean, I'm definitely one of those guys where I would prefer a team that's like a name and branded and everything to win, but fucking if that's what you gotta do to get Ricochet and Aleister Black a match at TakeOver, fucking do that shit, because you can't, like, it's gonna be a sad day when we have our first TakeOver without those two.
Oh yeah.
I think when I went to Google, my phone started recording everything I was saying.
But yeah. It's gonna be a fun fucking match because War Raiders is just gonna be throwing them everywhere.
Indeed.
But speaking of fun matches,
They'll be like, I just realized they're gonna be like fucking pinballs. The War Raiders are just gonna keep throwing them and they'll just start jumping and bouncing off of things.
Speaking of fun matches, I don't remember if there was one on Fastlane.
Fastlane was surprisingly good.
I know I watched it, but like it is like,
yeah, you watched that shit with me, motherfucker.
I know, like I can't remember jack shit. What the fuck?
So we all went into Fastlane basically thinking like, okay, it's gonna be filler or whatever, it doesn't matter. Fastlane was really fun. There was a lot of great working, a lot of great storyline stuff. Kofi Mania was expertly handled, and just all the setup they did for Mania in that show was beautiful. Like, I honestly think this was a better pay-per-view than Elimination Chamber, and quite possibly better than this year's Royal Rumble.
Ooh.
Like, I really enjoyed it. The only thing I didn't like was, and I wouldn't even say it was bad, it was just like, I didn't particularly care about it. The main event of Shield versus Mid-Card of Evil was just kind of like, well, if this was at any other point in the show, it would be a take-a-piss match.
Yeah, but Fastlane happened. You need to get it out of the way before you get to the road to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
But on that road, they're making a lot of extra content, and one of that is photo shoot. I watched AJ Styles' episode, I think.
I missed AJ Styles. I watched Natalia and someone else did an episode.
Ziggler.
Yeah, I watched Ziggler. Ziggler was fun. The Natalia one was really heartwarming though, because like they did a lot of stuff about her career, and I kept thinking like, not talked about her growing up at all, really. Are they trying to avoid the Jim Anvil Neidhart stuff because they don't want to make her upset or anything? And then the last 10 minutes were literally just her talking about her relationship with her dad and reminiscing, and it was really cool. Really heartwarming stuff.
Yeah. AJ Styles talking about how he never thought he'd be at WWE because, I mean, look at him.
Yeah.
He's a tiny guy. Talking about his family. It was wholesome. But speaking of an attempt at wholesomeness, Kurt Angle is now officially just retiring.
Yeah. And, should we just hit the elephant in the room?
Are you talking about the elephant where he's very, very, very stiff and cannot wrestle much anymore? Or the fact that Baron Corbin's going to be his final fucking opponent?
Baron Corbin, because, like, of all the choices, because there was 4 choices here. 3 of them good, 1 of them terrible considering the current climate. And they picked the terrible one. Because, okay, I have no malice towards Baron Corbin. I'm sure he's a perfectly nice guy backstage, but he sucks. Nobody cares about Baron Corbin at this point in time. He's just annoying. He's been annoying ever since he became the Constable. Baron Corbin is like the fetch of WWE right now. You know, they stopped doing it with Roman Reigns. Then, like, they sort of transitioned into it being Baron Corbin of stop trying to make Baron Corbin happen. He's not gonna happen. We all hate him, but not in the, like, oh, he's such a nasty heel way. We hate him in the nobody cares about this bland dickhead way.
I don't want to be that harsh on Baron Corbin. I think he has some cool spots. And when given the right kind of environment, he's fine. But no, he should not be fucking retiring Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
If you're going to use a young talent, it should be Matt Riddle or Chad Gable. They should be retiring him. Or if you're going to have a legend, John Cena.
Yeah, because, like, okay, the other 3 choices were John Cena, because John Cena debuted against him. Well, as John Cena, he debuted against him. Samoa Joe, because TNA. And Chad Gable, because Chad Gable is essentially Neo fucking Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
And
Kurt Angle with a mullet.
Yeah. And, like, the matches these guys have gotten to have on the retirement tour has been fine, minus one person who's incredibly hard to see. But every time those matches happened, I was just like, why isn't this being saved for Mania? And it's been incredibly annoying. I will give kudos to WWE because they leaned into it as quickly as possible. Like, later that night on Raw, the commentators were talking about the backlash about it on Twitter. Being everybody hates Baron Corbin. But the thing is, it just doesn't feel right. And even Kurt Angle himself has hinted at, like, this isn't what I would have actually wanted. His wife has said it's incredibly disappointing. And the Cena swerve at this point, I think, is so obvious they might as well confirm it. Because John Cena has been teasing it himself ever since the We Want Cena chance started. And, like, I think there's a very interesting way you could talk about that. You could do it, I'll talk about that in a fantasy booking way in a second. But just to close out on this whole this is a fuck-up thing, let me just say this. WWE, I don't care what year it is, if you have a crowd of wrestling fans cheering We Want Cena, there is a problem with the angle.
Honestly, I'd be fine if, like, they do Baron Corbin, he beats him, and then John Cena comes out. That'd be fine.
I think here's what my theory is. I think the match is going to start as they originally planned it of Kurt Angle, Baron Corbin, but then halfway through there's going to be a spot where it looks like Baron's really got Kurt on the ropes. He might win, he might beat him, and then all of a sudden Cena's music hits, he walks out, he hits the 5-knuckle shuffle on Corbin.
No, he's a Pokemon now. 5-knuckle shuffle.
he does all that, he does all his stuff, and then he stares down Kurt like they're about to have a moment, and then he just smiles and says, "Go get him," and then walks out. I think that's the best thing you could possibly do at this point. Because at this point, with how much build they have done to Baron Corbin, as much as I don't like it, I think it would be incredibly stupid to throw all of that away just to have there be a Cena versus Angle match. It should be Cena comes in and helps, or Cena comes in and interferes.
But yeah, it's definitely not the best thing they could have done.
Yeah.
But one of the best things they could have done is salvaging the storyline for the co-besties, for the Miz and McMahon storyline at WrestleMania.
Not even salvaging it. I feel like ever since, this is by far the best thing to come out of Crown Jewel, and it's one of the best main roster storylines we've had in a long time. Like it feels like they planned this out. They had a lot of care and they knew what they were doing throughout this, with just the way they have ebbed and weaved through a slow but perfect face turn for the Miz, and now he's come out and giving promos on SmackDown being a full-on babyface, to Shane just healing it the hell up. It's so good, and it's something I never thought I'd see and never thought I would like. Like, I was so against it at the start when people started throwing around the idea, and now I'm full-on into it. Like, that promo he gave, not this week, but the week before, where he talks about his career and how he had to prove himself because he came from reality TV. I was like, this is a kind of standard babyface promo, but Miz is doing it so well, and there's been so much build to this happening that I'm in love with this promo. I absolutely love it. I buy Miz as a babyface, and this is one of the Mania matches I am the most hyped for at this point. Especially now that they've made it Falls Count Anywhere, because that means Shane can do all kinds of crazy coast to coasts.
Oh yeah. But they've been firing this on really good cylinders. Mm-hmm. Miz's promos have just been fire. He still sounds like the Miz, but it's just like a good guy now.
Yeah. It's really interesting because Miz and Daniel Bryan have kind of been like these opposing forces the whole time, like, and now they fully inverted on each other. But I genuinely think out of all the guys from their sort of generation of WWE talent, they're probably the best. Like, they have consistently had the best working over the last few months. It's absolutely incredible what those two guys have pulled out.
Yeah. And pulling something out of nothing, Styles versus Orton at Mania.
Yeah! This angle has been super interesting. Like, what a good angle for a match where there's no belt or no, like, career stuff on the line. It's just these two guys have something to prove.
Oh, yeah. But it's very much like Orton wants to prove that, guys from the indie scene, nah, they ain't shit. It's WWE all the way. And AJ Styles goes like, fuck you. It doesn't matter where I fucking started. It matters where I'm here right now, and you can't stop it.
Mm-hmm. It's very much hitting on a classic wrestling debate, and it works very well. Especially with that promo the two had, where they were kind of trading jabs back and forth of like, oh, you got over with a knockoff Diamond Cutter. Oh, what, you mean Two Sweets, not a knockoff? Oh, yeah, that's right. I referenced Bullet Club in a WWE promo.
Yeah, but he's also Randy Orton. He can get away with it.
Yeah.
I fucking love that Diamond Cutter line, though, because I was just going like, motherfucker! Oh!
Yeah. Especially because nobody thinks of it as a Diamond Cutter anymore. Like, it is completely an RKO to this generation of wrestling fans.
Yeah. It's very interesting. It's a hype setup. It's a hype match. Speaking of hype, the hypest of all, Kofi Mania running fucking wild.
Oh my God, what an insanely good build this has been. And
I'd say it dipped this week, but only by like a half an inch.
really,
It's mainly because it's like, I'm fine with Big E and Xavier fighting for Kofi, but it should have been the other way around. It should have been.
Yeah, I agree.
It should have been Xavier, Big E, go up against the gauntlet, they get screwed at the end, and then Kofi goes to Vince McMahon, goes like, no, this is on me, let me fight, and then he has a gauntlet, gets to go. That way he is in control of his future, not the New Day.
Yeah.
Not that I'm complaining that the New Day did it for him, because honestly I think it's more symbolic of what they've done behind the scenes, which is nice, but...
And that's the thing that I've really loved is what commentary has been bringing out in the last couple weeks of like, this totally gels with the theme of the power of positivity, because these are guys who have essentially been jobbing for years. I mean, they got over recently with New Day, but they're still seen as a bunch of goofy goobers and nothing more. And this is proving like, no, if you stick it out and you try and make the best out of your situation and you keep going after what you want, eventually you will get there. And that's incredibly inspiring and really good. And like, there have been people who have said it's kind of just a knockoff of Daniel Bryan in 2014. I don't agree. Yes, the same sort of themes are there, but I wouldn't call it a knockoff. I call it a recontextualization. And a really good one at that.
Yeah. But it's been fucking rocky because Kofi had to go through a gauntlet match to secure his place at WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. And he fucking survives. Excuse me. Sheamus, Cesaro, Samoa Joe, Rowan, and fucking Randy Orton, who fucking MVP of the whole thing, because he called back to the fact that back in like 2009, 2010, Kofi was supposed to go to the main event, but Randy Orton stopped that because he said he wasn't fit for it yet. And it's partially because they had a match where Kofi did a botch, and Randy Orton was going, stupid. And in that match, Randy Orton holds Kofi's head and just yells at his face, stupid. And it's just like, oh, continuity.
Yeah, it's a good time. And like, I think one of my two favorite moments in this whole thing have been in the last couple weeks. First was from the beginning of this month when they were doing the promo talking about how he got screwed over at Fastlane and demanding the main event, and then Vince coming out and giving them the gauntlet match. But there's a moment in there where they're all going like, no, Kofi deserves this. We have worked hard for it. He has been here forever. He deserves it. You need to give it to him. And Vince just goes, no one deserves anything. I don't deserve anything. You guys certainly don't deserve anything. None of us deserve anything. It was really cool seeing Vince McMahon say that. The character who's known for going, kiss my ass, you've got to grab the brass ring if you want to get what you want from me. But
also it's like nice to, the baby faces rally behind them.
Yeah. And the other best moment, which we talked about the other day, off mic, the Usos forfeiting.
Such a classy move.
Yeah, that was great. That was pure wholesomeness, and I loved it.
Pure sportsmanship.
The only thing is, like, now that you brought up to me that it should have been Xavier and Big E getting screwed over and then Kofi goes in, I think, the Usos forfeiting would have made way more sense as a way of them getting screwed over. Because Vince would just come out and be like, what the hell is wrong with you two? This is bullshit. Fucking Daniel, Rowan, get in there and beat him up.
Or it could have been, you didn't beat all five.
Mm-hmm.
But, again, that's like a nitpick because it was good. It's a nitpick.
Yeah. This was good. It could have been slightly better.
Yeah. And, people need to understand. Sometimes the nitpick isn't a negative. Sometimes it's just like, hey, bro, you could take that stain out of your pants and you look nicer.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of nice, we're getting a fucking nice match at TakeOver New York. Pete Dunne versus Volter.
NXT UK has really come into its... Sorry, chair squeeze. NXT UK has really come into its own in the last month or so. Like, we've talked before on the show as, like, we don't dislike it, but it's just not for us. I've watched the last couple weeks, the whole show all the way through, and there's been some pretty solid stuff going on, not the least of which is the setup for their championship match. I really dig how Pete Dunne is just taking it on full force and going like, no, don't make me wait. Don't say he needs to get used to things a little bit before we can put him in the main event. I want Walter, and I want him now. And Walter's just standing there going, that's cute.
And it's like,
so good.
It's a hard British bastard and a hard German bastard going up against each other as hard bastards, and it's like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Give me this European violence. Like, it's so good. I can't wait. Cassius Sono took a stop by in NXT UK.
He didn't take a stop by. He's full on transferred over there now and is just healing up like a motherfucker. It's like, if you thought he was a dick to Matt Riddle, you need to go and watch some of the shit he's been doing over there. Like, he came out recently and did a promo, like, apologizing to a family for brutalizing somebody and somebody's family for brutalizing that wrestler in a match. And he's like, that was a bad thing for me to do. I should have killed that motherfucker.
Oh, man. Fucking Ono. It's great. Oh, man.
It's really good.
Speaking of things that aren't present.
Hey!
The NXT
Very
title
sneaky, sis.
is now vacant. And is going to be fought over by Johnny Gargano and whoever won a five-way match at NXT for the belt at NXT TakeOver New York.
You do know who won, right?
It's Riddle, right?
No, it's Adam Cole, baby.
Oh, fuck. Oh, man, that's gonna be a fucking dope match.
Yeah, this whole angle has been, like, an incredible marvel for me as a content creator. Not as a fan, but as a content creator, because it's Triple H taking a shit sandwich that he was handed by no one in particular, just life not coming together, and going like, alright, I can't do the awesome thing I wanted to do. Let's do this other awesome thing!
Yeah, because we could always do the awesome thing later.
Yeah, and like, just the promo he gave talking about, like, how much work and effort they put into Gargano versus Ciampa, and how he's sad that it's not going to get the conclusion it deserved, but he's still doing things great. And, like, I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm fully into the idea of Tommaso Ciampa coming back as a babyface family man.
I wouldn't that for, like, the first match, like the first promo, and then he goes into a match and it's like, oh no, it's Tommaso Ciampa, fuck.
Yeah.
We were lulled into a false sense of security. Kind of like what we were expecting with Kevin Owens.
Yeah, that could work. And then there was a really good promo this week of Gargano and Cole basically recapping their histories in NXT, going like, no, I've been around here the longest. I've got the most clout. No, I've been around here the longest. I've got the most clout. Oh, yeah, well, fuck you, buddy.
I got the bigger respect, dick.
Yeah, that was pretty good. And it's gonna be a bomber match because these are two bomber dudes in the ring. So I'm definitely looking forward to TakeOver. I mean, I always look forward to TakeOver at this point, but I'm extra looking forward to it right now.
It's gonna be a bomb-ass main event. Speaking of bomb-ass main events, Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte are now confirmed to be the main event of WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. And not the main event. There's 3 main events. No, it's the last match on the card. And that's the first time in WrestleMania history And you know what? Pretty cool. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, you're happy about that. You're not happy about the other thing, though.
And like again, we've talked about this since Evolution. There has kind of been a cooling down of first women such and such ever in history in the WWE. It's more just like, hey, we're doing this, and it's a first ever. That's cool. And
Yeah.
like, not to be anti-feministic or anything, but I much prefer that. It feels more natural, and it feels like it feels more appropriate. Of like, because I don't see, especially these three, being the kind of characters who go like women's evolution this and women evolutions that. They're characters who are about their characters.
Oh yeah.
So I'm pretty excited for this match. You know, it's been a very convoluted angle over the last couple months, but I think it's still going to be a pretty good match. And you know, I can't wait to see the end of Ronda and Becky wearing a belt.
Oh yeah. Because there's another belt going into that match. And I'll just let you take this away.
Okay.
Oh, because nothing I say can add to your frustration. I know this, so have at it.
So we all know that Asuka is one of my favorite wrestlers.
Yeah.
Depending on the day, my favorite wrestler, period. I absolutely love her. I think she's got a great look. She has an excellent in-ring style, and her whole persona is just perfect. But WWE hasn't really treated her that well since she's gotten on the main roster. I mean, she had a pretty good match at WrestleMania last year, but she lost it, ending the winning streak that she came in with as a bunch of clout. And since then, she didn't really recover. I mean, there was a long period of time after that where she just wasn't on anything at all. When I went to see SmackDown last year, I was really excited to get to see her in person. The most I got to see of her in person was sticking her head out of the car at the loading dock to talk to security as she was pulling in. Then she won the SmackDown Women's title at TLC, I believe it was. And that was great. That was awesome. That was a wonderful moment. Since then, she has done dick all with that title. No interesting angles or feuds or anything for her, even though it seemed like they really cared about that belt up until she got it. And then, this week on SmackDown, there's a moment where Becky Lynch was cutting a promo on Charlotte Flair, basically sort of throwing into doubt her validity in the match, which has been in doubt since she got put into it because she was inserted by Vince McMahon. And in order to counteract that, Charlotte Flair said, well, here, let me show you guys why I deserve to be in that match. And so she goes out, she has her whole entrance, and Asuka comes out, and it's like, okay, cool, we're getting a WrestleMania rematch. And then the announcer says that the match is for the title, and everyone, including Corey fucking Graves, goes, wait, what? And then they have a pretty good match. It was a decent little match. I liked it pretty much. And then Asuka lost the belt to Charlotte. Asuka cannot ever be allowed to beat Charlotte. Charlotte is now the SmackDown Women's Champion again because that match needed even more shit thrown on top of it. Because Charlotte needed another championship. Because, you know, those things needed to happen. Like, I need another fucking credit card bill to pay. I do not understand what the hell the thought process is in this, aside from put Charlotte over because we like Charlotte. It doesn't... Not only has it buried Asuka, but it's made an already kind of convoluted angle even more convoluted and fucky. And, like, the only reason anybody is looking forward to it is because we know somebody's going to get the belt because somebody else is leaving. The whole thing is just a mess, and as far as Asuka's title reign, which I was really excited for, and I thought could be potentially as interesting and diverse as AJ Styles' title reign, all I have to say is my disappointment is immeasurable, and my day has been ruined.
And here's the other thing. It's not like that SmackDown belt is up for grabs in the match.
Mm-hmm.
It's not being contested.
It's not like, Becky could walk out as a double champion. It's just Charlotte went and put a belt on her waist to prove how big her dick is.
Yeah. And I think it's partially so at the end, Charlotte can be on SmackDown and be the champion, and then they can rebuild the division around her.
Because Becky's going to Raw at this point. That's a surefire certainty.
Oh, yeah.
Good God.
And there's nothing more I can say. There's nothing more I can say about it that you haven't said, because you're much more invested in it, in that specifically, than I am.
At this point, I mean, like, I get why Asuka has stuck with WWE, because behind the scenes, she's a mom, and she's gone to another country to work for a company, and they're probably paying her pretty well. She probably doesn't want to leave that job because it allows her kid to have a much better life than he could have if she didn't have the job. But honestly, I'm starting to feel like she should ask for her release. I'm not saying Asuka to AEW. I'm saying Asuka. If WWE is going to keep treating Asuka this way, Asuka should have the self-respect to leave the company, because she doesn't deserve this.
I mean, did you see the Twitter exchange? Asuka tweeted over, like she was over it all. And Shinsuke Nakamura just tweeted back at her, hold on, just wait.
That's interesting, considering where he's at.
Yeah, but also he's near the end of his career, and he's just enjoying surfing in Florida. Like, I can't blame the guy.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to segue to this next bit. Someone debuted on NXT UK.
Yeah, so NXT, getting back to a thing that makes me happy.
I'll just bring up Asuka whenever I want to bring you down.
Oh, good lord. So there was a pretty good match on NXT UK this week of Zaya Brookside, I forgot her name for half a second, going up against Rhea Ripley. And that was a pretty solid match. It was a nice big versus little thing, this cute little baby face trying to prove herself, say, like, I've got what it takes. I'm not just here because of my family name. And then Rhea Ripley beat the shit out of her and was like, there's a reason I was the first women's champion, thank you very much. And I am still the most dominant woman in this area of the promotion. And then freaking Piper Niven, this big badass Irish woman. No, she's Scottish. I'm sorry. She comes out.
Get your places done. Aren't England straight, you fucker?
It's funny because my heritage is both Irish and Scottish. I get them mixed up all the time.
Like 90% of white Americans are.
Yeah. But she comes out. She gets
potato
a quick
famine
spot on Rhea Ripley, and goes like, most dominant women in NXT. Not anymore. Basically doing what Walter did at TakeOver a few months back, and setting up a pretty interesting angle. And I didn't know much about Piper Niven beforehand, much like with Walter. But I looked into her a little bit. She's got a pretty good ring acumen, and I like her whole style, her whole big bad bitch attitude, and I'm looking forward to it. I feel a little bad for Zaya Brookside because she is one of my favorite women on the NXT UK roster, but she still got to have a really good match, and I feel like they have plans for her still in place. So overall, really strong segment.
Yep. So, all in all, WWE had a month
of WWE.
Yeah, it was a month of WWE. What more can we say?
Yeah.
On to the next one. All right. Are you all in? It's time for All Elite Wrestling and their month of content. Mostly being a series, the continuing series of web series, videos, series.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are on the road to Double or Nothing.
Yep.
It's what Michael Cole would say if he was in AEW.
Oh, thank God he's not.
Could you just picture him walking out at the start of instead of that nice little CGI graphic they have, the intro is just him standing in front of the camera saying that in like full suit and headset.
God damn, don't put that curse on me, Ricky Bobby. But essentially, All Elite has been doing vignette video things, kind of showing what they're planning on doing for future events, speak talent they're signing up, and giving their talent time to give promos and hype up matches. It's all really cool stuff.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that was really cool is that they are teaming up with an organization that gives sensory sensitive people an opportunity to go to live events.
Yeah, I think we talked about that last month, but that is really cool.
That's still cool.
Yeah, I'm glad that they're doing that. There was a thing about StarCast this month, which I didn't put on the card just because, like, what more can you say? It's kind of just a convention, but
it's a convention that we're not going to.
Yeah, but it is cool. It's cool that they're so closely partnering with it. The whole thing I really like about AEW is how open it feels. It's not like other promotions where it's just, if you're in our promotion, all that's ever happened with you is what's happened in our promotion. No, wrestling is a community and it's a whole wide open world. Just because we're doing things doesn't mean that other shit isn't happening.
Yeah, we'll get into it a little bit later, but there's a thing that was kind of like that. But Cody, throughout this whole thing, has been training, trying to gear up for Double or Nothing, getting ready. Got a cool cane, and it just makes him look like a badass.
I fucking love that cane. It's such a cool, simple thing that takes him from being the kind of the young prince of the indies that he's been known as for so long now to, no, he's an authority figure now, and he's a badass one at that.
Yeah, but he's also not portraying himself as, I'm an in and out bad guy much anymore.
Yeah. He's just like, no, this is my company, and we're gonna do some wrestling, and I look like a badass in a suit with a cane.
And Chris Jericho's a jackass.
Yeah.
What's new?
And I like how it's not like, ooh, I'm getting all fired up over the stuff Jericho is saying. It's just like, oh god, I wish that guy didn't exist.
Yeah. They signed several people.
Specifically, a former Impact Women's Champion, Demon Bunny Alley. I'd not actually heard of her before this, but she seems really cool. I watched a couple of her Impact matches. She's got a pretty decent ring acumen, and apparently her and Brandy had a thing in the past. And I like how open AEW is, because they acknowledge that shit, and Brandy was just like, yeah, it happened, it was a thing, but it's in the past now.
Yeah. They've also kind of revealed and teased the title belt for AEW. I wonder if they're going to be as anal about being it's a champion, not a belt.
You know, I didn't even... The funny thing is, like, AEW has been so about other things that I didn't even think about them needing a belt until this segment in Double or Nothing. And I was like, oh yeah, that's right, they're going to need a belt. Oh, holy shit, if they're doing the thing they're teasing with their belt, that sounds awesome. Because we haven't seen what the belt looks like, but there was a phone conversation between two people where somebody who, I forget who it was, I think it might have been Brandy, was asking, like, yeah, we wanted to get it as big as the Mid-South American Championship. Can you do that? And if you've ever seen pictures of that belt, that's a fucking huge belt. So that's kind of exciting.
Hold on, I am looking it up so I can visualize. Come on, man. Fuck this. Yeah, big boy. Big old chunky boy.
Yeah. That looks like the kind of belt where, like, you've seen people hit people. You see people hit other people with their belts all the time. But this looks like if you hit somebody with it, they would get a concussion.
Yeah. Damn, that's a chunky boy. I like it.
So I'm very excited to see the full AEW championship when it eventually gets revealed.
There's another set of championships I can't wait for, and that's the tag team. Speaking of tag teams, Young Bucks versus Lucha Brothers. God, this is going to be a fun match.
Yeah, they've been doing some very cool, very, very subtle build to it. There's been some... It's mostly been in being the elite, but they've kind of roped it into Road to Double or Nothing recently, with bringing up the fact that Cody and the Young Bucks went to fucking Mexico, and Cody got himself beat up again. So it's even more in question whether or not he'll be able to compete at Double or Nothing.
Yeah, it's gonna be fucking... It's just fuck, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. But... AEW's gearing up for shit, man, because they're trying to trademark several pay-per-view names that are all like old WCW things. Bash at the Beach, Battle Bowl, Bunkhouse Stampede, Prince of Wrestling. That's a more Cody specific thing, but
yeah, these are all names for things that were in WCW and were created by Dusty. Which is very interesting that Cody's trying to bring them back in, because there was also a moment, like Cody said on Twitter, I don't have any specific plans for these. I'm just trying to get a bunch of Dad's old stock back. But it's like we all know that that once AEW gets going, once they've got a TV show and everything, these are going to be names for their pay-per-views.
Oh yeah,
and I'm pretty sure Prince of Wrestling is just going to be Cody's like title going forward. Because in the latest Double or Nothing, there was some tease for what his gear at Double or Nothing is going to look like. And it's basically like a big flamboyant Prince jacket with coattails.
Yeah. It's going to be fucking weird, man. It's going to be fucking great. It's going to be good.
Also, since I bagged on Cody, let me also say that he was really cool when Eve asked, like, hey, one of those things you trademarked is an annual pay-per-view for us. Do you mind if we keep doing it? Because we've already gotten a cease and desist over our She-Viber series. And Cody was like, no, I don't care. Have a good show.
Yeah.
That's... yes.
I mean, that's going to be pain on trademark lawyers, but... Mm-hmm. I mean, a single show or a pay-per-view, they may be able to make an argument there.
Yeah.
But Jim Ross has said he's been working with AEW, and I'm not saying the other one because he already confirmed on Twitter. Yeah, no, that's not happening.
Really?
Yeah. He's still signed to WWE.
Huh. Then I wonder what that news, why that happened, whatever. But yeah, Jim Ross going over there, really interesting because, hey, that's the last guy who, when these rumors originally started circling, was named as one of the people behind the promotion. So, I guess that person that leaked all that information, who we called a bullshitter, not exactly a bullshitter.
Yeah.
So, I doubt they're gonna put him on commentary or anything. He's probably gonna be more of like a managerial role, but, still pretty cool that they're getting such a well-renowned guy from the old guard involved in this thing that's all about forging new talent.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I definitely don't think it's gonna be commentary.
Yeah.
But we have now confirmed what the third major show is gonna be. All Elite, which is All In 2 at Chicago.
Yeah.
The Bucks of Youth and Kenny Omega confirmed it.
Yeah, and they confirmed it by accident during their panel at C2E2.
By accident.
Well, here's the thing, is like, I'm pretty sure they were like, we're gonna reveal it at the panel, but they also said that they had meant to save it for the end of the panel, and somebody just went ahead and barreled through to it, which I thought was hilarious.
Honestly, I think that's definitely a thing that they would do, though, on purpose. I don't know. But that's going to be neat. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool.
Also, CM Punk was there. So CM Punk for All Elite 2, confirmed.
CM Punk, confirmed. But other than that, All Elite hasn't really done anything. It's right before Double or Nothing comes out.
Yeah.
So we can't watch it.
We're on the precipice of both Double or Nothing and this year's Mania. So
God,
pretty interesting.
We only have a week of wrestling to go.
Yeah.
It is not this Sunday, but next Sunday.
Yeah. And I don't think it's going to be interesting watching Mania this year for me, because I'm going to have to split it up over a couple days, because I won't be able to get that night off since I took 2 nights off this month.
Diggity damn.
Yeah.
But there's not much more we can talk about All Elite because they haven't put out any wrestling.
One more thing. Picture of tortoise shell. One more thing. Castanets, the symbol of Cao Kuo Chu.
So you met some wrestlers.
I did?
I think you did. I mean, I know you met a G.I. Joe.
Yeah, fucking SC Comic-Con happened right at the beginning of this month. Basically the local comic convention that's put on by the store I actually get my books from every week, because if you just listen to this podcast for some reason, I'm a big comic book guy. You should go check out monthly comic book roundup over on Sid Partou's channel. Shameless plug. It was a pretty good time. I bought a lot of really cool stuff, met some neat people, and I got to meet one of my childhood heroes, that being Sergeant Slaughter, who these days I refer to as the wrestler I was into before I was into wrestling, because I don't think I've talked about this on this show before, but like there was a solid 2 years of my childhood, and by childhood I mean like before I was even 10 years old, where I was super into G.I. Joe because my best friend was into it and he kind of got me into it. And Sergeant Slaughter was my favorite G.I. Joe as a kid. He's not my favorite G.I. Joe now. Now I'm really into Dusty. But I always just liked Slaughter, thought he was hilarious and badass. And it wasn't until I was about 16 that I found out he was a real person and a wrestler. Like, there was literally a moment where I don't know why, I was just going through old wrestling clips on YouTube, because that was the rabbit hole I was in that night. And then I came across a clip of him, and I went on Twitter and I was like, wait, what the fuck is this? Sergeant Slaughter is a wrestler? And somebody replied like, yeah, you didn't know? And I replied to them saying, no, I just thought he was the best G.I. Joe character. And,
well, you learn something every day.
Yeah. But getting to meet him was really cool. He was a pretty nice guy. We didn't get to talk a whole lot or anything because it was very much, take your picture. Hey, get out of line kind of thing, because he was at a table with a bunch of other 80s guys, Arn Anderson, one of the Road Warriors, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, all guys who I've heard of but don't really know a whole lot about, so I didn't meet them. So there's a lot of crowd, a lot of just like can't really hang out or say anything much to him except like, hey, I'm a fan of your work, nice to meet you. Oh, I'm in the Cobra Clutch now. Oh shit. Hey, they took a picture of me. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
And I also met Mick Foley, who was sporting really short hair for him, which was kind of weird. But other than that, really nice to meet him. There was a cool moment where just before me, it was like 2 or 3 people before me, this special needs kid who was in like a motorized wheelchair and clearly had motor function issues came up, and they just let him go bypass the line and go up there, and he took not one picture with Mick Foley, but like a bunch of different ones with Mick Foley and every one of his gimmicks. They got Mr. Sacco in there. They let the kid hold every one of the titles Mick Foley had with him. was a really cool, really sweet, heartwarming moment. And then I went up, shook his hand, and said, "Hey, you're awesome. I'm not going to ask you the obvious dumb question, but have a nice day." And that was that.
Yeah, you know what? I think they appreciate people who go like, "Yo, I like you, but I know you're dealing with a bunch of bullshit. I'll let you be."
Yeah, because I had thought about like trying to get interviews with them or something, but like the convention was just way too busy for that. Like I didn't even ask like, "Hey, can you do one of those? Hi, I'm so and you're listening to MMWP things," because like I was in the line for McFoley for like 20 minutes, and I was in line for Slaughter for maybe 15, and there were huge crowds. So not just in the convention center in general, but around them. So it would have been kind of hard to do. They might have gotten stressed out about it, and it was so loud, I don't know if my camera would have been able to pick them up properly.
Yeah, but you know, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's cool that you got to meet him. So, we are, like I've said a little bit ago, we are recording this episode about a week and a half ahead of the biggest pay-per-view in WWE's lineup, WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. A pay-per-view so big that it's basically become an event for the entire wrestling community, where just everyone invades a specific town for a week and parties like crazy, and also does a good bit of working.
You've heard what AEW said about WrestleMania stuff, right?
No, I haven't. Give me.
They never want to do a show in the same town as a WrestleMania going on because they don't want to piggyback off the WWE. They want to chart their own path.
That's fucking ballsy. I respect that.
Oh yeah, X-Pac fucking came out and said like, "Yo, they're trying to start a new thing." That makes total sense.
Mm-hmm.
So any predictions you want for the WrestleMania?
Oh, I thought we were just gonna go through the card and go like, this is what
I like. Here's the thing. It is so up in the air that I'm not sure if there is a single solid card.
I think Kofi's gonna win. I think you just have to let that happen with how that storyline has gone so far. Becky is definitely going to win because it's the worst kept secret in wrestling right now that Ronda's contract is about up and she doesn't intend to resign.
I don't think her contract's about up. I think she's basically going like, yeah, I want to start wrestling, be in WWE, but I want to take a break after the storyline, start a family, get some things in order, do all that kind of stuff, and I'll be back. I don't think this is a permanent retirement.
Okay. I think The Miz is going to win his match. I would really like for Seth to win, but I think it could go either way.
Okay, I actually do have a card. So, Raw Women's Championship, Ronda Rousey, Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair. You said Becky, I say Becky, duh.
Mm-hmm.
WWE Championship match, Daniel Bryan versus Kofi Kingston. Kofi.
Yeah, Kofi.
Universal Champion, Brock Lesnar, Seth Rollins. I think Seth.
I want Seth, but it could go either way, in my opinion.
I think Seth.
It's the same atmosphere as last year with fucking Roman and the whole like, oh, UFC kind of wants Brock Lesnar back. Maybe his time in WWE is finally up.
I honestly think it is the right time to get the belt off of them, and they're not doing a crown jewel. They're not doing the greatest Royal Rumble. They haven't announced anything like that, and it's like, okay, they're doing it. They gotta fucking do it.
I am so done with fucking UFC people at this point.
Except Matt Riddle. Matt Riddle can stay.
Oh, I don't think of Matt Riddle as a UFC guy at this point.
Intercontinental Championship match, Finn Balor, Bobby Lashley.
You know what? I'm going to go with Bobby.
You know what I'm going for? Demon Balor.
Yeah, that's rumored, but the last time the Demon was rumored, they didn't use him. I'm kind of thinking it's not going to be Demon, and we're going to see Bobby win because Bobby is so close to being over right. He just needs that little extra push. And
you know what?
as much as they've tried to make it seem like it, WWE does not care about Finn Balor.
Not yet. But after that belt gets on Seth Rollins, oh boy, that main event scene. Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Finn Balor, all going after each other. That'd be fucking dope. Add in Drew McIntyre. Ooh. That might make me start watching Raw again.
Yeah, maybe that could be good.
United States Championship, Samoa Joe versus Rey Mysterio. Joe.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Joe.
That feels right.
I feel like Joe needs some time with this belt. This needs to be like his chance to really shine as a champion, not as I'm trying to get a belt.
Yeah. And let him just brutalize Mysterio for a little bit, and that really put him over. It'd just be dope. Women's Tag Team Championship match. Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Nia Jax and Tamina. Beth Phoenix and Natalya versus the Iconics. Who do you think's going to win?
Beth Phoenix and Natalya, simply for the fact that I do not think they would get Beth Phoenix back unless they promised her the belt. I don't think she's going to have it for a long time, but I think she's going to get the belt. And my thought process is she's going to lose it to the Iconic, or her and Natalya, but it's mostly about Beth having a fucking nostalgia run. And then I think they're going to lose it to the Iconics at the very next pay-per-view, and then Sasha and Bayley are going to go back after it.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be Sasha and Bayley retain to build legitimacy for the belt.
That's entirely possible.
Partially because they have announced that there's going to be a takeover unrelated to a main roster pay-per-view.
Huh.
A pure solo takeover.
That's interesting. I didn't know that.
And that'd be dope to have Sasha and Bayley defended against Sky Pirates.
I would really want that.
WWE Cruiserweight Championship match. Buddy Murphy, Tony Nese.
Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, buddy. Keep it on the Australian fucker.
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre.
Who cares?
Roman.
Yeah, Roman.
Like, it just feels right. Give him a good fucking match on WrestleMania. It'd be a good moment. Start to show off with a good note.
Yeah.
Batista versus Triple H. No holds barred.
You know, I really feel like the right thing to do, the cooler version of the outcome for this storyline is, like I said, Triple H comes out with Rick and Randy as Evolution, and he wins. But I honestly think he could lose. I think this might be like with the him tearing his ACL, was it at Crown Jewel? His pectoral, and the fact that he's so invested in NXT now. I think this might be the end of Triple H in the ring, at least for a very long time.
All right, we need to put this on pause for just 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay.
And I'm back.
You ever think about how Colossus lost his virginity to 3 nameless warrior women in the Savage Lands?
Is that fucking canon?
Yep.
Are you fucking me?
Nope.
Alright. Jesus. That's a weird fucking segue into Randy Orton versus AJ Styles.
AJ.
Yeah, that definitely feels like the better direction to take it, especially with the direction WWE is heading.
Here's the thing, is I really think this is going to be a babyface heavy Mania. I think this is all going to be about good guys always win. Except maybe 1 or 2 matches.
Oh, I didn't say who I thought it was. Triple H. Finally get that monkey off his back. Shane McMahon versus The Miz. Falls count anywhere.
Miz,
but with the caveat, it's in the crowd with his dad right beside him.
Yeah. Big old, do a tag team spot between them.
I don't know. Like, that's the only thing I can think to be different. They definitely are doing a falls count anywhere, so Shane can jump off of things.
Mm-hmm.
Which is going to be fun. Kurt Angle versus Baron Corbin. Kurt. Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. Entrance so far: Braun Strowman, Michael Che, and Colin Jost.
Wait, you're serious?
Yeah. No, the Saturday Night Live fuckers are in the match.
I know, I just wanted to reference that meme. It's obviously going to be Braun.
Yeah.
Nobody else matters. This is just a vehicle to get Braun some more momentum.
Yeah. I bet Zack Ryder is going to be comically thrown over the top rope by Braun Strowman.
Poor Zack.
You'll always be the internet champion in our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
And the toy lover.
Yeah. When's the next episode of that show coming out? I really wish that was a more regular thing.
No idea.
Is that everything?
I believe so.
Yeah. Well, I just realized there's no women's fucking battle royal confirmed, is there?
No, I think they may be skipping this year.
Huh. Interesting.
You know what? I'm fine with them skipping a thing like that if there's no reason to do it. They're building a reason for the Andre the Giant one. There's no reason to do the women's one right now. Last year there was a reason. They wanted to get it out of the way.
Yeah.
Now there's no reason.
That's fair.
But that's it for Modular Media Wrestling Podcast.
Okay.
Do you have anything else you want to say?
Wrestling certainly was wrestling. I certainly do like wrestling. I'm not trying to trash wrestling. It's just, what can you say other than it's wrestling?
Yeah. Well, tell the people who you are and where they can find your bullshit.
I am Simion The Vacuuminator Scott. I am a creator of many, many things across the internet, mainly video projects. You can find those all by going to thatsimionscott.com. You can support my work by going to patreon.com/SimionsCott. You can keep up with me on the social medias by following me on Twitter @thatsimionscott and on Instagram @thatsimionscott, but with underscores.
I am Chris Boingo Rider Gaston. You can find my shit on Boingo Rider YouTube channel. I make video editorial bullshits where I give really fucking weird takes on life and media. Like, for example, I think the Super Mario Brothers movie's not that bad.
Oh my god, he's right.
I remember your comment on that video, and my response was, I always give the most lukewarm hot takes.
That should be your fucking, like, your, what's the word for the thing you put below someone's name as their slogan?
You can find
like
me on
how
Twitter.
mine for a while was serious analysis, genuine buffoonery. Yours should be the most lukewarm hot takes.
You can find me on Twitter @Boingo_Rider. You can find me on Instagram @Boingo_Rider. And you can find me on the Discord server. The link to that is in the description. I hang out there. We post memes and shit posts. Simeon's there.
I am.
I
don't have anything to say about it, but I'm there.
Yeah, I mean, we just bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
That's 90% of it because there's not many people there. It's just a repository for dumb jokes.
Occasionally somebody drops in and says, hey, I like your videos. And you say, cool, thanks, welcome. And then a week later they leave.
Yeah, I think it's partially because they expected actual conversations going on, but it's very much like, the best way to put it is it's very much like you're roommates with people, and you're friendly, but if you don't have a reason to talk, there's not going to be a reason.
Mm-hmm. That's part of the reason why I'm so active in my Patreon Discord server, even though I have no one in there except for my friends right now. Because when I do get patrons, I want it to seem very lively so that I won't have to carry the whole thing myself. I want people to just jump in and stuff. I'm not trying to trash Chris here, by the way. I'm just saying what my strategy is for my server.
Yeah. No, I understand. I get it. It's fine. It's fine. I'm not hurting nothing.
Yeah, Chris's server is a good place. You should go to
it. Oh, man. But jokes. My life is a joke.
It's not a joke.
My face is a joke. But that was Modular Media Wrestling Podcast. This was a production of Modular Media, collective creative cooperation. We're not an official co-op yet. Like, we are nowhere near that bullshit. This is pie in the sky mindset.
We're a couple good old boys on YouTube who want to be good old pals to a bunch of other people at the same level as us. but we gotta find him first.
You gotta dress for the job you want, not for the job you have.
Exactly.
If you want more content like this, you can find it on this channel. We have an ongoing pop culture analysis podcast called Analytical Fanboys. There is an ongoing Doctor Who podcast called Whovian Ruin. There's this guy, this Modular Media podcast, and a variety of other like one-off podcasts we do. So subscribe if you want, hit the like button, ring the bell, engage with the algorithm, sacrifice a baby to Satan, all the normal things.
Yeah.
So
the YouTube things. The YouTube things. Do the YouTube things.
Sacrifice a baby. Go to a forest. Find a dead person. Film it.
Yeah, exactly.
God. Oh man. Well, till next time, because you can't do WrestleMania live.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine.
It'll still be a good show. We'll still have lots to say about it.
Yep. Next time we'll be talking about WrestleMania. We'll be talking about Double or Nothing. Fuck, we have so much to talk about next month.
Oh, I'm excited.
Oh man. Now we just need to ring the bell.